Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to another episode of Burning Crowns. I think this is episode 33, 34, something like that. Hi, I'm Eric. I'm your host and Gamemaster today. And yeah, we're playing Burning Wheel by Luke Crane. And that's what's going on. Since we couldn't play last week, it was PAX weekend. I did get some Burning Wheel in, just it was in the form of Inheritance. So that was cool. Playing Inheritance is super awesome. Highly recommend it if you ever get a chance. AP, how are you doing?
I'm currently questioning the relationship between inheritance and burning wheel. Having facilitator read the document, it doesn't seem that close. But I'm super tired. Sam, how are you doing?
I'm good. In. I almost needed to evacuate, so I'm thinking about everyone who did, in fact, need to evacuate. But I was lucky enough to avoid the hurricane for now. That's
Yeah,
pretty much
that's
taken
really
up
good.
like 90% of my week has been like tracking and trying to figure out whether I need to get out of Dodge. Um, what else have I been up to? Oh, me and Daniel have planned alternate off-stream Burning Wheel game with Joker Boney. To if we when we ever don't play Burning Crowns to just kind of hop into. So I made a tragic elf figure who has a horribly sordid past and starting at the highest allowable level of grief for an elf to start at.
Yes. Yo,
That lady has not had a good time.
No,
It's
no.
only been 160 years and she is fucked up.
Yeah, so that'll be good. That'll be entertaining. But yeah, other than that, I've just been kind of getting ready and making sure that my apartment doesn't get knocked over in a hurricane. So yeah.
Reasonable.
What about you, Daniel? What have you been up to?
Oh, me? Little old me? Not a whole lot, I'm afraid. Been playing some Blades in the Dark, having general good RPG times. I've been watching the A History Channel's series Vikings, which I was informed was a entertaining and good show. I have comments about that, but there is genuinely entertainment value in that show. And then I reached season 4, and I did not know
I
that
saw your
Viking.
Twitter.
Yeah, I didn't know Viking longships were made of styrofoam, but it makes it so much easier to understand why they just capsize like whee in a river battle sequence that has to be the worst thing I've ever seen on television. And I've seen Sat.
Oh, that is pretty sad. I have not seen Vikings, but I should. And to comment on your point, AP, you're right. I think Inheritance is more Burning Wheel in form, but not function.
That sounds right.
You played it's tragic characters trying to with intercomplicated beliefs with amongst each other, and it never working out right. But yeah, it's nowhere near there's no dice rolling. So yeah. Yeah, okay. So we're playing Burning Wheel, which means we have to go over our beliefs. So, how about AP? Tell us about Marquis Ronald Swan's beliefs for this week.
I know
You
wanted
almost
to say
said count.
Yeah,
I know.
we know.
I know.
We
It's been a
all
while.
know.
I know. Well, you can't behead me.
I need to clear up the matter of Ronald Swan's training since it's been 5 weeks
Yeah,
since the
it's
last
definitely
episode.
definitely training.
He finally finished learning Ugly Truth, and now he has Persuasion 8, and is 3 weeks away from learning to use those armor and shield that he's been carrying around but never actually equipping.
Yeah.
All of that super expensive equipment. And he has some... I don't think his beliefs changed since last time I played. The first one changed because I finished it. Expansion and acquisition is the heart of civilization. Once the building of the capital Karasuno has begun, I will invite important business, political, and noble leaders for pleasure retreats. The winter harvest will be mine, as much available food around Miven must be stockpiled, and future harvests purchased now with contracts. And I probably forgot to put that particular belief in the belief document.
That's okay.
I'll do it as soon as I'm done reading these.
Yeah.
I have my enemies outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, and outplanned. They're going to make an all-out stand, and I'm going to need a right-hand man. I will draw to me a general who is eloquent and elegant with no embellishment to maintain my armies. Surviving is not living, and creating a city is not a country. Something must unify my people, a rallying cry to march towards, and a culture of excellence to maintain after my death. Magic is more than just a single sorcerer, and knowledge more than a single advisor. Dianora is just one woman, and unskilled in instruction or the arcane arts. Millions must bring me more candidates, and I must convince them to join my crusade. Man, that belief is super long.
Yeah.
And the final one is I am responsible to the people. My instincts are always draw a steady sword at sorcery. I always offer deals before the knives come out, and always offer those I defeat a chance to serve on my court.
Yes. Perfect.
Tunnel snakes rule. We're the tunnel snakes. That's us. And we rule. I
Sam.
just felt like that was worth reiterating.
Before I go into my beliefs, I want to point out it's pretty ironic that the game that AP plays in about farming had the apocalypse happen before the game where we talked about an apocalypse coming in the very first episode. But yeah, my beliefs are only the strong wall shelters humanity from the storm. Skywatch has been useless in regards to finding these weapons of the faith, which I seek. I shall search in the Southland near Kurasuno for the location of these holy artifacts. And that'll hopefully get resolved today because I just prayed at the end of the last episode. Belief 2. Zidomir has turned his back on his oaths to his order, my brother, and me. Though as a man, I would like nothing better than to never see him again. As the vicar of Abadar, I must see that he faces the justice of the order he betrayed. Belief 3. My followers amongst the Untouchables wish for me to work with Iravetti. I will set up a meeting and work towards an alliance, not just a contract. And the last one, this one is long, so get ready. At the dawn of time, Abadar laid forth the holy codex of laws and traditions that would govern the heavenly kingdoms for all eternity. We must follow the great reformers who glimpsed the edges of the lawmakers' holy order to perfect our wanting civilization. Despite the preparations I have made, I am not convinced that the House of Abadar prepares for war in earnest. I shall issue an edict rebuking those who still refuse to prepare for the end. Instincts are always have my doctoring supplies on me, always assume divine mandate, and always assume signs of the apocalypse. And I have way, way too many traits to actually list out. Yeah.
Oops. Yeah. I think we all have quite the slew of traits. Sure. Okay. Let's get ready to rumble.
Of course.
Daniel.
Let's do that once I've... I too will lay on my beliefs for you, gentlemen, just for the sake of it. I am, of course, playing Mason, the sorceress. Now, rightfully, Dragon Queen of Brevoy. It's weird. My first belief is, whether I want it or not, Brevoy is mine. I suppose its conquest may be an excellent proving ground for myself. Their friendship to House Orlovsky make House Medviet and House Garrus obvious allies. Their vassalage will come first. My second belief, I will claim fate from the gods and deliver it to mortals. The gods seem none too pleased with my plans. I'd be flattered at their attention if it wasn't so annoying. I'll go to the Valley of Fire and acquire a weapon that even the gods fear, turning the tables to my side. And my third belief is, as the last member of the Nethesian Eye, I stand responsible where they no longer can. Which, for today, at least for present, is a fate farm, unless I figure something to do with it during the session.
Yep. What do you mean before, unless you figure it's something before the session?
I mean, if something pops up, it's like, oh, you don't want me to? That's fine.
No, I don't want you to change your belief.
Okay. Then my first instinct is never give out knowledge without purpose. My second instinct is always treat knowledge and relics with the utmost care. And my third instinct is, if there is understanding to be gained, do research.
Yeah. Cool.
And as Sam, too many traits, just no.
Yeah, far too many, especially with your dragonness.
Yes, the transformation traits are what makes this a long list.
Before we get started, I have a thing, which is way back when we did the trait vote. Now I think 5 weeks ago, we forgot to vote on Workhorse and MVP. So I'm wondering if we want to do that, or
We
just...
absolutely forgot to do that. We should absolutely retroactively give ourselves a couple extra points of persona where applicable. So let's do that right now. That's a really good point. Let's do some trait voting. Well, you know, the end of the trait voting part.
Artha voting.
So it's going to be a little bit tricky remembering what exactly happened. But
yeah, I mean, I can start. I'd like to nominate Swan for Workhorse, and the reason why is because when you're thinking of it as time within the story wise, the vast majority of the time within the story for Mason and Sulius Aurelius was like gallivanting off in this magic tower, while Swan
rolled up his sleeves and kept the place in order.
Like he made like a huge resources roll to keep us funded. He made a big administration role, and basically there would be no town to go back to.
Like I was almost. It's funny that you brought up Workhorse, because I was going to nominate him for MVP for the exact same thing. Because he literally put the entire town on his back, and it's literally funding an entire new
I support
city.
the nomination for Workhorse.
But, okay. Oh, subtle. Okay. Yeah, that's
right.
I mean, Workhorse also makes
okay.
sense, though. So, like, yeah. All right, you get Workhorse.
That is a persona point.
So
Excellent.
if no one
Thank
else
you.
is going to say it, I'll just go ahead and nominate myself for MVP for literally making an Ob-10 miracle happen.
Yes.
I'm going to nominate you for MVP for causing the apocalypse, which is absolutely like driving the story to its conclusion.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen.
That is
anyway.
what you did. So I think there you go.
Cool. Thank you, guys. That's it then, I think, right?
I reckon so.
Yeah, I kind of think so. Wow. Yeah, okay. What about, I mean, did we win the other embodiment? Or I guess we always do embodiment at the end of it. That's in session. Yeah, okay. No worries then. All right, then let's begin play. AP, since you haven't been here, you missed the last time you played. Let's start with you, my friend.
I guess the question is, where am I? The last thing I remember was being in Niven, but that was 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, I
guess I wasn't present when Aurelius arrived.
Yeah, I presume you're back in Karasuno by now, unless because I don't think there was any more business you wanted to attend in Niven.
Not immediately.
Not immediately. Yeah, so I figured you were back.
At some point, I'm going to conquer it.
It's hard, yeah. So like, it's difficult for you to, you know, you constantly have to be writing at any like point when you're not in Karasuno because of just how much you're doing.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that any kind of free time summons you back to Karasuno, right? To be like, God damn it, these fucking architects, Jesus, I cannot get my face right, honestly, you know, or whatever. And so I feel like you're back in Karasuno, my dude. But if you want to contradict me, I would cede it to you. Okay.
Well, we could also say that you were like there when we got back, and we can like kind of flash back the way we have in the past. But it's up to
I mean, a good first scene for this session could be Swan's ship like pulling into the harbor, right? Be like, I have returned.
Yeah, I think we also, because it's been a month or so, you need a resource test, right? For example,
don't
we have
do
gone to
resources tests on
seasonal.
the seasonal.
Oh yeah,
What are
that's
we?
right. Okay.
Yeah, and we're in December, or Kuthon, or what it's called now, and like approaching the end of December. So,
which is why I thought we would. Yeah. Okay.
We made one. Right
I wasn't
before.
sure if we switched over to the new year or not.
I think we're like a month away from needing to do another.
I jumped. Okay, yeah. So I jumped the gun. It's the following month that we have to do the resource test. Yeah. So you guys make it. So we see the ship. We see several floating bits of ice. It's really chilly for the winter. This winter has been surprisingly mild, to much of everyone's chagrin. And
chagrin. I'm thrilled.
yeah, less people dead. It's great.
Not to the common folk think this is superstitious.
That's fine. I'm no common folk, nor am I superstitious.
Yeah.
I'm immediately gonna go see my brother Aurelius to figure out what's going on.
I would probably be there to greet you.
All right.
With
What's your bitchin' new aura look like when I get off the ship?
Yeah, so I described this last time, but Swan hasn't seen it. So Aurelius, I've described like a couple times. Sometimes like when he's doing miracles, it's kind of hard to tell whether his chain is radiating light or if it just reflects the light in a weird way. That is no longer a question. It emanates this soft, pleasant glow that grows stronger when he does his miracles. So yeah, you see like maybe as you're like pulling up, you see like this like pinpoint of light that like grows and you like realize that it's Aurelius standing at the docks. He's got his most faithful cadre, so the chained ones and the cured standing close around him, and then I think the rest of the untouchables and the rest of the military order that isn't with you are close at hand.
So there's like 500 plus people on this dock then.
No, yeah, I mean it's the port,
a couple
right?
hundred.
Yeah,
I thought it was a couple.
Dock.
Yeah.
Well, I thought how many people are in the Untouchables?
Like
I thought it was 500.
Yeah.
It's 500
But
Outriders.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't think you were bringing all of them. I thought you were just bringing.
No.
Like,
I mean the ones that are
squad.
drilling and on duty and doing
okay.
stuff. I'm
Right.
not like.
All right.
Yeah. So,
Now, are
yeah.
they still lepers? Have you cured them of their leprosy, or are they just believers?
The cured are cured.
Right,
The
you have
other
some
ones I
cured.
did not.
You have
All right.
5 who are cured.
I thought it was
All right.
6, but okay.
6. Sorry, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. It was 6. The six who were cured. Actually, I'm gonna write that down. That's important to know.
Swan's gonna pull you into a hug and just be like, "Ha, brother! You know, I had a dream that you were the sun. Look, this is amazing. How have you done this?"
The faith grows, and so to it does its representation on Sulius Aurelius's body. It is good to see you, brother. It's been too long.
Are you speaking in third person now?
He like kind of like he's like when we speak,
Wait, what's this we?
this is perhaps not the time for this, my brother.
All right, you said my. I'm less worried now. Slightly less worried, but still concerned.
It is not a matter for you to concern yourself with. How is your voyage?
Fresh.
All right, then. I have much to talk to you about. Things that I don't think you will be happy with. Have we gotten news about, has Orlovsky declared that he's taking over Brevoy with the heir of... No? Okay.
No, unless you guys have been in active communique and like really talking to the courts of Brevoy in any. No, I don't think they would never even put it in writing in any way, right? No way.
Yeah,
So,
I think
so that's what I'm saying is that unless you've been like spy mastering, basically, there's no way you've heard of it, right?
I mean, I have a
feel
spy
like-
master, so
Let me just chime in here. I'm
Which
not
I was
Orlovsky. I can't say what he has chosen to do, like out of my consideration. But insofar as Mason has something to say, we're not tipping our hand by announcing our sneak attack before it happens.
Yeah, of course not.
Sure. In that case, I will say I'm guessing that word of my edict may have reached Mivon after you left. Sir Zidomir has betrayed the order.
indeed.
He has betrayed yourself. He must be tried.
I've had some thoughts on the matter, and I like hold out a scroll. I was thinking that we might pressure his family into disowning him.
If that is your choice,
It's petty and vengeful, so it does sound like something I'd do.
I would urge you, brother, to consider allowing him to deliver himself for trial willingly.
Oh, sure, absolutely. But we definitely should get his family to disown him in the process. There's no reason not to make his life worse at this point.
We both know that the oaths to the order are for a lifetime, and they cannot be so easily tossed aside. There must be an accounting.
The oaths to the order, he's already thrown them aside once. It's the oath to my personal service that I'm more concerned about, but Abadar surely should have a word with him as well.
We most certainly will.
There's that thing again. What's this we?
It's curious tick.
I speak for both of us.
Do you mean you and me, or do you mean you and Abadar?
Well, in a manner of speaking, we do speak for both yourself and Sulius Aurelius. But as my faith has grown, it's become more clear that I speak for the divine as well.
I think Swan's just going to let that uncomfortable silence settle in.
Yep. And like, yeah, you're just bathed in divine light throughout this whole conversation.
Yeah.
It'd be like, I can't tell if it's the docks, but something here smells fishy.
I'm going to, I think I just like sort of give you news about sort of like what's been going on. And I mention my plans for reaching out to Iravetti, as well as writing an edict to the church.
You know, Iravetti was supposed to be back months ago.
Yeah, they never came back. And there's been no word from them.
The believers amongst the Untouchables believe that Iravetti should be brought into the fold.
Well, that's reasonable, but she doesn't seem like a very religious person.
Neither were they.
She doesn't seem like a humble person, or one that would accept putting something above her.
The men I see behind you, guarding your person, were once men who fled civilization because they would not be told what to do, took up arms against the world. I do not think that they were believers, but they have been shown the light. Have you not, Gideon? And he like speaks to like one of the people, like, you know, one of the former bandits that's with Swan.
Yes. Well, my bodyguards have had an interesting time.
Seems we have much to catch up on. Please, my brother, I would not leave you standing in the cold like this. Shall we go into your city?
Yes, of course. Yeah. I would love to find Millions somewhere, anywhere. She always seems like she's avoiding me.
Before we get to Millions, you have when you get back into your office stuff.
Whoa, hang on there, Eric.
Pressing.
Hang on there.
What?
Question. So when the camera pans sideways from this conversation and we see Karasuno like 3 or 4 months later down the line, what does it look like? Like, can we like establish the progress of the city in the south? Like, how much of a city is there?
There's still only about 40% of a city. By and large, everything, especially it's hard to construct in the wintertime. So a lot of things are all just kind of, all of the constructions around, it's ready to go. It's whenever, it's just frankly just kind of, there's not, in the winter it's hard to get going.
Sure. Cool.
So we still see the city with large cranes and, what do you call it? The scaffolding on the sides of several large buildings that are getting constructed, particularly around your castle. And you're building a church, aren't you?
There are three palaces,
three palaces
in the city, and then like 4 castles surrounding them, right?
It's one giant super castle, yes.
Yeah.
The castle industrial
Excellent.
complex is very booming in Karasuno right now.
Yeah, you're basically mining out all the stone.
I figured
Good.
I was probably buying stone from upriver. The Shrike River connects to a set of mountains.
The Galushkin?
I
think. Yeah.
You're saying
The
words? Probably.
Yeah, the
No,
Gress.
the other direction. You're going back into Brevoy.
Yeah. Oh, you mean south?
Up near the Valley of Fire.
Oh, okay,
Northeast
okay.
Rostov.
Northeast. Yeah, Mediv. Interesting. Okay.
Yep, I'm probably. It's pretty reasonable to get stone from upriver rather than downriver.
So you have. There's two pressing issues, I think.
Wonderful.
That come up to one good and one bad. The first one I think is the good one I want to talk about.
Okay.
And it's actually part of the reason why Lady Iravetti hasn't been heard from in a while.
She's dead, and she's been replaced by a marmot.
No, it's the yes, exactly. Why do I even have to play this game? Because you already know what I'm going to say. No, she actually gives you a gift of a baby owlbear head.
Wow.
Saying that and it's ready for mounting. You know, like it's set up on a nice big huge like wooden kind of like plaque behind it and stuff.
I'm gonna put it right
gift.
next to my dead what were they? Bugbear? My dead bugbear skull.
Yeah. Saying
I feel like I'm gonna get a collection of magical creatures that have been murdered in my name.
Yeah. She, as well as an apology note, and that she'll be returning shortly. She caught wind of this and just couldn't let it go and had to take care of it.
Had to go hunt down. All right. I'll probably pass along the letter to, I think his name's Rolf? Whoever she left in charge of the troops, just to make sure he knows that she's coming back at some point.
Yeah.
Did I convert him too?
No, I'm pretty sure you didn't convert the general.
Okay.
Or marshal of their forces. And the second thing is not nearly as nice and pleasant.
I mean, who doesn't love being displayed dead heads?
You're getting disturbing reports from particularly your stone carriers from those mountains over there. That the dead are coming back to life.
Well,
good.
That there's some sort of weird they say it's a god, and they think that it's like they're not sure. They think it's some sort of like in fact I think they probably think it's what's his name? Kothan from
Zon-Kuthon?
Ustalev. Is it not Zon-Kuthon? No, the lich guy who's stuck in Ustalev.
Tarbafon.
Oh, Tarbafon, thank you. They say that Tarbafon is
sitting around.
Like, remember the story? Yeah, the story. Yeah. They say that he walks the earth once more and has been and is raising the dead somewhere in the east.
I turn to Aurelius and say,
which
some consider magic to be a gateway to abilities that would be unnatural. This smells of magic to me. This is on the border of Rogarvia, yes?
Yes.
And I look at my map, obviously knowing that to be the case, but wanting to make sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's there's too many just frequent reports for this to just be, like that's why this came up to you instead of just.
So is it centering anywhere? Like, is it centering on the mountains, the Valley of Fire, the Rosslyn Plains? Like, is there an exact location or even an inexact location?
No, I mean, I feel like at this point there's not enough data to know that. You just that whole region has had several different statements.
Undead attacks? Okay.
Yeah. Right. It's there's no sort of like what do you call it? The thing. No, there's no like epidemiology study about like the frequency of attacks around on the map and tracing where the sun.
Yeah, but I
mean? Like it's
want to
just
have my Abadarian bureaucrats do exactly that. I will order one to begin a file called The Walking Dead, where they begin storing all the statistical information of undead attacks.
Will the level of investigation degrade every season?
Yeah. Exactly. At some point, the zombies will be the most sympathetic characters on the show, for sure.
Yeah. The giant. Yep. And the label of the dossier says "Don't open dead inside" or "Don't dead open inside." Yeah, for
I
sure.
have to say, like, I imagine, like, as one would expect, when the dead start walking, you would expect, like, some person to ride into your court blowing a trumpet and be like, "The dead walk again." I don't feel like anyone ever expects to find that message enclosed as a footnote in a construction binder.
Oh
Like,
yeah, it's
yeah,
not.
the
It's not. It's not
development is going well.
constructors.
Also, the dead walk.
No, it's yeah, and which is why you think it's like, oh, there's people are just being stupid. But there seems to be something to it. It's not like
I take it very seriously.
Yeah, which is why it's brought to your attention.
Noticing that magic has been returning very specifically, I have a belief about it. So I will once again send for Millions the Bard.
Yeah,
because I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, I feel like talking to Millions wouldn't be that out of the question now.
Do I need to circle her, or do I just...
They're around.
Okay.
Yeah. So is Sulia still here too?
Yeah, why not?
Unless I've been dismissed.
No. I need you here. What was that? Now I'm humming myself.
Just so that I can get the time frame straight, is this before or after I made that faith roll to learn where the weapons are? I know that we're resolving that later in the session, but just so that I can see
this is after.
This is okay.
This is after.
You're looking for the Spear of Swanginus still?
Yeah, exactly.
Let me look at your traits real quick, because there might be something you need to figure out here. Nope. Okay, never mind. Nope. Millicent shows up. Happy
Millicent,
to see you.
Have you brought me any more candidates of the arcane nature?
She nods and she says she has a couple. She has two twins who seem to be quite precocious. Is the word she uses.
Curious.
She looks at you and says, like, I've never. She's like, forgive me, but training is not necessarily something that comes easy, but it's undeniable that these two have some sorts of talents.
Well, bring them here. I would speak with them.
Okay. Cool. That's gonna take like half a day.
Okay.
After she leaves, I'm going to say, brother, now that we are alone, there's something of which we must speak.
I'll
News
definitely
from Skywatch.
Do I need to be dismissing my good man bodyguard? What's his name? You know that
Einhard?
Oh, Einhard Krishenko. Yeah. Einhard, go get some juice or something in the next room and do 100 push-ups.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
When I was there with Mason, we uncovered a few disturbing facts. Mason is not what was anticipated.
You liar.
What do you mean?
No, it's nothing.
I mean, I'd probably say, what do you mean Mason wasn't what was anticipated?
While we were in the tower, they underwent a transformation.
Are they a lich now? Is this it? Is it happening? Swan's like going for his holy sword. He's just belting it on again. And he's just like, that's it. I knew this day would come. I've been following the legacy of Tarbafon for so long.
Not a lich.
Oh.
But not altogether human either.
So now he's like halfway got his sword belted on. He's like, I'm going to sit down. You're going to need to explain this to me. And I'll figure out whether I need to grab my sword or not at the end.
So I didn't promise Mason I would not tell Swan that they were a dragon. I just promised that I wouldn't tell him that they were the heir of Rogarvia. And the deal there was that I wouldn't tell him so long as they didn't pursue the throne.
Yes.
which I don't know has been broken.
Yep.
So I explained the dragon thing to Swan,
So
and
wait,
I say,
is Mason a dragon or a half dragon? What's the deal here?
I believe they are on their way to becoming a full dragon. I'm not clear on the specifics, but there's a much more disturbing fact in all of this.
Really? You believe that a person turning into a horrible scaled monstrosity is more disturbing than what exactly?
I believe that what is more disturbing is a horrible scaled monstrosity, as you put it, pretending to be a human for nearly 1,000 years while ruling Brevoy with an iron fist, replacing people who it is believed are actually their children, but are in fact just themselves over and over again so that they can maintain control.
I mean, Swan is shocked by this and says, do you mean Chorgel?
Chorgel never died.
Is a
Chorgel
dragon.
never rolled dragons.
And has been replacing himself on the throne, including the times when they were queens ruling Brevoy.
I can't understand the specifics.
I understand the canon is very weird right now.
I believe that there must be some sort of magical illusion at play. I won't pretend to understand the specifics of the arcane arts, but what I can tell you is that Chorgel never died, and Chorgel was indeed a dragon.
This is disturbing news.
Yes.
This invalidates much of the history of the Rogarvian people.
Yes. I know that this would be shocking, which is why I thought it best to tell you in private. I also want you to know that they were doing something in Skywatch. They were trapping souls for some nefarious purpose. We did our duty in that place, acted as the hand of Abadar, and released the souls. But I'm sure that there are longer-term consequences of this.
I think Swan's going to go stand by a tent flap and look out over the city with his hands behind his back and say, I was taught that dragons were honorable, that they had served our Rogarvian ancestors greatly during the time of the barbarian conquering. If, as you say, Chorgel was this dishonorable, deal-breaking monstrosity, and that Mason is well on the way, perhaps, and he's like fidgeting and playing with the embroidery of the dragon on the back of his outfit. If this is true, then perhaps dragons are not quite what we believe them to be.
Yeah.
I cannot speak to dragons. I can say that despite your and Mason's differences, they have been nothing less than honest to me. Until
Very
such
well.
a time as I see them betray my trust, they haven't.
I have
Foreshadowing!
Yeah.
I have a plan, and I'll tell you immediately after we get some tea.
All right. And yeah, we're going to go to I know it's not quite the hour, but we're going to go to our first break, and I'll be back for a little bit longer for the second part. Apologies for that. We'll see you guys on the other side of a 6-minute break.